Yeah. 8:03 on a Friday morning. It's cold in Los Angeles, but it's a good day for morning coffee. Cheers to the morning coffee fam. What's happening, guys? It's actually Good Friday. One of those weird holidays that I'm not sure where it comes from. You can't keep up anymore. Especially with Facebook and Twitter and Instagram or whatever. All these social media companies, they now say like every day what holiday is. And it will be like Dog Day, or it'll be Chocolate Lovers Day. Every other day it's another holiday. Here's the trick. Just because Facebook tells you that it's Flowers Day, you don't have to celebrate it. There's a new holiday for everything. Like every week, there's multiple holidays. Today is Veteran Mothers who live on the east side of the Mississippi River and were born between the ages between the years of 1970 and 1990. Blonde-haired Secretary's Day. Squirrel Day. Today is Squirrel Recognition Day. I can barely keep up with New Year's, Christmas, Thanksgiving. Those are my holidays. Easter, I don't know. St. Patrick's Day, I don't know. Valentine's Day, I don't know. But it is Good Friday, so that means a lot of people are probably off work. A lot of people are taking it easy. I almost didn't stream today because I'm in a holiday mood myself. Kind of having a slow morning. But I figured I'd pop on and say what's up to you guys. We'll do a short little morning coffee, down some of this caffeine, and see how many people are alive and awake on a Friday. Oh, it's Friday, end of the week. See how many people are awake and alive for a morning coffee cheers with your pal, Melvin Darras. Looks like some of the crew's here. Kim, first in the chat as always. Billy Bell's here. Pants, Micah's, Alex, Tammy. Hey. Good to see you guys. Like we were talking about, it's Good Friday. I don't know exactly what it is, but I know Easter is was supposed to be about a resurrection, and then it turned into kind of Easter eggs being hidden in yards and people buying rabbit costumes. And I did used to love Easter egg hunts though. In Allen, Oklahoma, where my grandpa, my dad's side lived, we used to have Easter egg hunts over there, and they were great because they always put out a few prize eggs. And back then, the prize eggs, there was like $1 in one, $5 in another, 10 in another one, and there might have even been a 20 in one of them. And back then, I mean, that was $5 million if you found the $20 egg. But if you were younger, you usually didn't stand as good of a chance. My older brother usually powerhoused through all of us and ran as fast as he could and got a lot of the prize eggs. But we do an Easter egg hunt, and it was really fun. There'd be a dinner or a lunch. Actually, they called lunch dinner. My grandma and grandpa Darras, it was breakfast, then dinner, and then supper. That's what it was. And they called their couch their divan, which is a very, I guess, an older term that you don't hear much anymore. And then we would play croquet. That was the tradition at the Darras family house in Allen, Oklahoma. Easter egg hunts, deviled eggs, lunch, and then a game of croquet usually. Good times, to tell you the truth. What's up, Gene? What's up, Pochita Mexicana? Been a long time since I've seen that name here. You found us during those early morning coffee Periscope streams back in the day. Tammy says, that's what my grandma called her couch too. Yeah, a divan. You're gonna sleep on the divan. It's funny how terms change over time like that. Like what's the one, when I was a kid, they called blush that you put on your cheek, they called it rouge. But then they just switched the term to blush. It may even be something else now. I don't wear makeup that often, so I couldn't tell you. I've been listening to a background music thing on YouTube all morning because for the last 2 days, I believe my next door neighbors have gone out of town. And I think that their housekeeper is kind of living at the house and throwing parties at their pool. It's a beautiful home next door to me. And I had a conversation with the neighbors once about their pool. It makes this high-pitched squealing sound. One of their filters or one of their things that works at the pool. So I talked to them and they turned it off and they don't use it anymore. But I think now that they're gone, she doesn't get it. And so it's been going for 48 hours now. And it is a squealing high-pitched noise that I can hear inside my house. And I haven't slept good for 2 days because of it. I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning, 4 a.m. yesterday morning, and there's just no sleeping. So I'm gonna have to go over there and talk to her. Because it's maddening, it's like a dog whistle. It's like this high-pitched squeal that you just can't get away from. But I was listening to this music this morning to try to block it out. It was called something, deep thinking music, just background noise, binaural beats, whatever they are. But it's been a rough 48 hours. But it could be way worse. She's also throwing huge parties over there at night. And I don't know. I mean, if I was out of town and I found out that my house manager or housekeeper was having big parties, I'd probably want to know. But I'll probably just let it slide. Because it is a beautiful home over there. And if I worked there and the owners were out of town, I'd probably want to have a little party and a get together and hang out there as well. Looks like a museum. You guys are funny. Talking about the fridge was the ice box. Yeah, I remember that one. What's up, Hector? What's up, Claudine? Pochita says, you look just as handsome. Well, thank you. But that's what I've been up to. This morning I'm on my last cup of coffee. Hanging out, slow day. I realized it was Good Friday because looked like I woke up and checked the GME AMC stats and they were dead. There was nothing going on. So, hey, it's a holiday. And I don't know when Easter is, but I'm guessing, when is Easter? Is it this weekend? Easter Sunday and Easter Monday. So I guess Easter is Sunday, and then everybody has Easter Monday off. It's funny I stay pretty tuned out from the world and timelines and holidays and things like that. So it's like a surprise. Like I didn't even realize it was Easter coming up. What do you guys do for Easter? Do you have a big Easter egg hunt or a big celebration of any kind, or do you blow it off? Or do you put on a big rabbit suit and hop around the neighborhood and go door to door and pass out Easter eggs? One thing I did really used to like to do was the Easter egg decorating. That was fun to do, making the eggs. Jean says, it's Easter, exactly, I never know. Tammy says, no kids around, so nothing. Yeah, exactly. I do envy my friends who have big time holiday spirit though. Like I have friends who probably right now are dressed in an Easter bunny suit, hopping around, hiding eggs, setting up the food for, well, it's, COVID. But you can have some people over, I guess. And it probably has decorations on their homes and in their yards and inside of the house. And I mean, when these holidays come, they love it. Because they love to put on a spread, they love to have a party, they love to have people over, and especially if there are kids around. If I had a bunch of kids, I'd be in an Easter egg suit. But otherwise, all of it. It's like, for me personally, I stopped celebrating most holidays when I originally stopped drinking back in the day. I realized, oh wait, St. Patrick's Day is just a great day to get drunk. Easter is a great time to get drunk. Christmas is a great time to get drunk. New Year's is great because everybody else gets drunk that day. They get as drunk that day as you get all year or on your regular days. So it's like a good excuse to drink heavy. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Valentine's Day, all of it. I always hated Valentine's Day as a kid because I didn't have any cash, and the girls at school some of the boys would be getting them like, diamond earrings or a fancy whatever, bringing them flowers, taking them on dates. And I actually was so embarrassed one year. I didn't have any money. I was a kid, teenager, young teenager. And I wrote a song about what I was going through, and it was called Happy Valentine's Day, here's a peanut butter sandwich. And it was like, Happy Valentine's Day, here's a peanut butter sandwich. I made it just for you. And it was like this funny little song about how I didn't have any money for Valentine's Day, but here's a peanut butter sandwich, and it's the best I can do. I don't think I actually even played it for the girl that I was seeing at the time. To me, holidays were always just pressure. Pressure, Christmas pressure, Thanksgiving pressure, all the travel and money that's spent and gifts and fights and all the crazy family stuff. So this Easter, I don't think I'm going to do much of anything, just like Good Friday. Diligentius is in the house. Rise and shine. Tammy says you should have played it. That's sweeter than any gift money could buy. Yeah. It's a good test too. If you're dating a girl or whatever, and she beats you up or makes you feel bad for the gift that you gave, if it's the best you could do, you probably want to exit stage left as fast as possible. I loved my mom. One time she came to visit, and it was the last day of the trip, and I gave her an option. I said, "Hey Ma, it's your last day. You can do whatever you want, but here's 2 ideas for you. You can pick either one. We can either go to Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills, go look for a purse or a shirt or a dress, or something. Or we could go to the beach. We could drive to Malibu and hang out around the beach and see the ocean and look at the mountains and stuff, the hills." And without missing the beach, she said, "Let's go to the beach." And I got a real kick out of it. I said, "Good." I love that kind of stuff. And we had a blast. We took pictures. She ran around, got her feet in the water. We spent a few hours out at the beach. Because believe me, you can go to the store anytime and buy yourself a product. But when in LA, you might want to go see the ocean if you don't have one in your hometown. There's a store somewhere that will overcharge you for things you don't need in any town, in any city in the world. Well, almost. Some people aren't fortunate enough to have a big enough population to have a store come in to overcharge you for things you don't need. So if you get the chance, go see the mountain. Or if you feel like it, go get a purse. Go get some Louis Vuitton on Rodeo Drive. Stoyan is in the house. He says, "Hey, Malan, Monster Cheers, everyone. For me, it's 19 hours, so would that be 7 p.m. and I'm drinking a beer." Beer cheers, man. I'm just getting myself caffeinated, getting my fingers warmed up. What's up, Ahmed? He says, "Yo, yo, yo, yo." I spent some time last night mixing and mastering a couple of the songs, trying to test out some mixes and see how it sounds. Sounding pretty good. Working on the album artwork, and then it'll be ready. And that'll be good. Get an album out in the beginning of the year, that's really good. It's only been 4 or 5 months since the last time I released something. Last thing I did was called Pretty Dark in 2020, and you can guess why, because 2020 was pretty dark. I played all the instruments but the bass. My friend from Dallas played the bass. A guy I met in Dallas when I was 18. He was 18 and a half. He was the bass player in a band, and I was at a club one night drunk, and there was a band playing that didn't have a singer, and I just walked up on stage and they let me come up, and I just made up music, made up some vocals live on stage. And then a few days later we were rehearsing, did like a formal rehearsal jam. and I was in the band. We played together in that band for 3 years. And then we both left and went to another band and played for another 3 years. And then that's when I moved back home to Oklahoma. A killer bass player though, one of the best bass players I've ever met. Bass players are very rare. To find a real bass player is very rare. Because most of the time what you find is someone who plays the bass because the band needs a bass player. A lot of times it's a guitar player who can't find a guitar gig at the moment. So they play the bass in whatever band they join, because that's what's needed. But they're not real bass players. I call real bass players people who like chose bass at a young age, and it's their sole focus. They don't want to be a guitar player. They want to play the bass. They're a different breed, man. And you can tell pretty straight away if someone's a bass player or if they're a musician who happens to be playing the bass. Big, big difference. So it'll be fun to get another release out just 4 or 5 months later. Anytime now it'll be posted and shared. I'm excited. I've been listening to these songs for a month and a half. So I'm about sick of them, so it's time to give them to someone else. What's up, Liz? Coffee cheers to Texas. Yogurt cheers. I love it. It's anything. It's like hot dog cheers. I actually have shown up for the Morning Coffee fam a few times. Been a while, but I showed up with no coffee. I left it in the kitchen and I had the microphone on me. I couldn't get up and get it. So we did air cheers with the fist and pretended to drink coffee. Fist cheers. Yogurt cheers. Did you get a vaccine yet? I haven't. LA is a shit show. And I'm actually going to kind of wait a little while I'm going to let other people, I'm going to let like I do with everything. I don't go see a movie when it first comes out if there's a line. I just wait. Like when a big movie comes out, some people will stand in line for 3 hours to see it. Nah, I'll just wait till the hysteria is over and then sneak in when it's empty and watch it by myself. Also, it seems like at this point, no one's really sure if the vaccines work. I mean, there's no evidence. I'll probably take one, but I'm gonna wait and see what happens. I read a horrifying story about Johnson & Johnson. It said that like 15 million of their doses were created incorrectly, and luckily they caught it. But it included some sort of ingredient that wasn't good. I'd be interested to hear from someone in a country outside of America, like Ahmed or any of our friends who are in other countries. Are you guys getting vaccinated as well? How's that going? You guys are talking about your favorite foods. I see scallops, crab legs. Crab legs, oh my God. I used to eat a lot of crab legs. Who knows? I don't really have a favorite food. For a long time in my life, my favorite food was cheese. Love cheese. But man, there's so many great foods. I mean, nacho cheese Doritos are fantastic. I also just like red meat, burgers, steaks, ice cream, pizza. I mean, there's too many. But if I was stranded on a deserted island and I could only have one food for the rest of my life, I'd probably go with beef. And salt. Probably be about the best bet as far as staying alive. Does anyone remember that good government cheese? Oh yeah, I think about that government cheese. We used to get that. Oh, it was so good. I'm serious, I used to love it. It came in a big cardboard box that was kind of like, built like a semi-trailer is what it looked like. And it was brown. And you took the top off and there was a silver wrapper on it, it seems like, and it was basically like Velveeta cheese. And I used to just eat it by itself. I could eat a whole brick of that stuff. So what I used to do, one of my favorite foods back in the day was nachos. So I would use what we call, sprinkled cheese, shredded cheese. We had a cheese grater, you'd grate the cheese, sprinkle it on there, and then I would dope up the nachos with a little bit of government cheese on a few pieces, and those pieces would be like the special pieces because they would just melt in your mouth because it had a big pad of government cheese on it. That stuff was great. God knows what was in it. Like yellow color number 53, every chemical there is, probably like horse knuckles, dog toenails, leftovers from the Velveeta cheese factory that fell on the floor. What's up, Bolo? Another Texas guy in the house. We've got two Texans here. Best food is the one you eat after a long trip. Okay. That's kind of interesting. Government cheese nachos and a Jolt Cola. Yeah, man, I was watching this series on Netflix lately. It's called Halt and Catch Fire. And it's supposed to be set in like 1990 when computers are first technology starting to pick up and IBM is coming out with computers and everyone's trying to be the big computer player. Pre-big internet, pre all this stuff. No social media, nothing like that. And it's a period piece, so I love the homes that they show because it's all that old late 80s, early 90s furniture and furnishings. They've got record players, answering machines with tapes that you rewind. And when I watch shows like that, there's a part of me that wants to, if I ever buy a house, just furnish it with the stuff that I grew up with. And have an Atari 2600, a voicemail machine that's a tape, and just a record player, like one of those old stereos with a record player, and all those big knobs and everything. and just have my house be the 80s. Because when I see the living rooms and bedrooms and all the furniture and stuff, it just makes your heart melt a little bit. But it's a decent show, you know, not great, but it's decent, it's watchable. And a couple nights ago, I was watching it, and they had a can of Jolt Cola in one of the scenes. It showed Jolt Cola, and I hadn't seen Jolt Cola since I was a kid. If you don't know, Jolt Cola was like an energy drink before there was an energy drink. It was like 10 times the caffeine of a Coca-Cola. And instead of like coming out with a diet drink or less caffeine drink, these guys went straight for the kill. It was like 10 times more caffeine than a Coke. Of course, kids my age, I might have been 8, we all wanted it because if you drank one, you were high. It was basically like a Monster energy drink now or a Red Bull, but this was in the 80s, maybe 90s, I can't remember. But it blew up, it was huge. And I loved them, but they pulled them from the shelves. I think enough parents complained that kids were going to die or whatever. And these days, like, it's so common, it's hilarious. But I have a memory with Jolt Cola that I'll share with you guys. Bolo mentioned it. He sent me a message on Instagram. He was like, holy hell, I haven't seen Jolt Cola in a long time either. And one time I went on a Mormon church camping trip. And the Mormons don't believe in caffeine. Like it's a sin to drink caffeine. They call it a drug, which it is. But I mean, sugar is also a drug, which is allowed. But Jolt Cola was on the do not drink list. And I remember I took a 6-pack of Jolt Cola on this camping trip with me. And I knew I was going to cause a problem. I kind of wanted to instigate an argument or cause some, just drive the counselors crazy. So I showed up with, a day's worth of food, a couple sandwiches, a couple, bag of chips or whatever. And I had this 6-pack of Jolt Cola, and I pulled it out and opened one up, and the church person just lost their mind. They're like, what are you doing? So I'm going to have a drink. And they were like, oh my God, they read the ingredients, there was caffeine in it, and they're like, oh, we can't have this, you can't have this. And I said, no, I'm gonna have it. I brought it, this is what I brought to drink, and I'm gonna drink it. And it turned into a big thing. All the kids were laughing, the adults were very upset with me, tried to take them away from me, and I told them that was all I had to drink, and I think they ended up letting me have them. But Jolt Cola was a problem. And drinking one, at 8 years old or 6 or 10 or however old I was, it felt like you had done a line of cocaine. And so if nothing else, that may have been what they hated about it. Like if he drinks that, we're not going to be able to control him at all. But I got a very stern talking to about how God doesn't want me to drink caffeine. And if I continue to drink caffeine, maybe it's a gateway to heroin or whatever. I don't know, whatever the game is that they're playing. And I think, actually, now that I think about it, I think they took the cans away from me and gave them back to me when it was over, because I was influencing the other kids. Which also makes me realize that I think the first joint I ever smoked was on a church trip. And one of the older kids had brought one. Oh man, that was a great story. We took a canoe in the middle of the night and floated it out into the water and quietly paddled out into the middle of this lake. And the kid that had the joint, it was me, him, and they don't call it a preacher in the Mormon churches, he's called the president. And I think it was the president of the church's son was in the boat with us. So the one kid sparks up the joint. He's got the joint in his mouth and he's got a lighter, right? And he's lighting it. We're very extremely young, not even close to teens. Maybe 12, maybe 30, I can't remember, it all blurs together. But we start lighting the joint and he lights it, he has to light the lighter several times. We pass it around and we don't really know what we're doing, so we're coughing and he relights it because it went out. And all of a sudden, we get high for one of the first times ever, and you're out on the water in a canoe going, oh my God, whoa, feeling like, wow, this is crazy. And all of a sudden, there was something like flying in the air that was very dark and was like flying at us and then disappearing and then flying at us and disappearing and flying at us. And we're freaking out. We're young kids. Now we're high as a kite out on some water. It's terrifying. And what it was bats. His lighter, and we might have had a flashlight as well, but the light that we had was drawing in bats. So it was maybe 3 or 4 of us out there in this boat, high as a kite, being attacked by bats. I mean, it was terrifying, man. And we quickly rowed that boat back to the shore, got away from the bats, and everyone snuck back into the camp and crawled back in our beds and just laughed about it the next day. So hey, if you send your kids to church camp, just know there's a pretty good chance they're going to have a drink of alcohol or smoke some pot for the first time, especially at church camp. Because what do young kids who are told everything's a sin and there's all these rules for church and you have to be good, and what do? They rebel. It's like that old preacher's daughter theory. And I've known a few extremely religious girls who slept with, as young girls, slept with anybody who wanted to. I won't say her name, there was a girl that I didn't know her, she lived near us, and a friend of mine, we must have been 12. A friend of mine hooked up with her in a laundry room because the rumor was all you had to do was ask, and he asked and she said okay. And her parents were extremely strict Pentecostal holiness. So she had the long hair that had never been cut, wore the long dresses, and you couldn't show any clothing. And you know, that was her home life, and then she would go out to go play, you know, or whatever, and she was banging every guy in the neighborhood just to kind of, you know, to rebel against her parents. Oh, I forgot about her. Probably a nice gal somewhere, married with a bunch of kids, doing the same thing, telling them to go to church. And she would not want this story to be told to those kids. Tammy said, I'd love to have a black light room with the glow-in-the-dark posters and plastic furniture and some vinyl or 8 tracks. Yeah. I just love the style. I love the old phones, you know, those old phones like rotary dial phones. And I've seen people in the past, I used to mock them. You'll see like guys and gals who are living in the 50s and they have greaser haircuts, their hair's slicked back, and they drive an old, you know, classic car, and their entire house will be done like the 50s, and it's like a period piece. I used to think it was silly, but there's part of me that's like, yeah, late 80s, some like 80s, and then just into the 90s, all that stuff. Find a nice couch from that era, you know, one of those phones, get some bad art on the walls. And I'd love to have a tape answering machine. That'd just be great. I'd love to have that and no cell phone. That'd be awesome. And just go back to that. Maybe one day. What are you guys doing today? Check the chat, check the campaigns. Holidays are weird with the marketing campaigns. You just never really know what's going to happen. You can never tell. It's usually going to be really good or really bad. Like when it's good, it's really good. When it's bad, it's really bad. What amazes me is sometimes if I'm talking about a marketing campaign, I do this from home. And sometimes you'll have a campaign running on Christmas Day. And you'll get done opening presents with your family or whatever and check your phone and you'll see that you've made sales. And you're like, who is online buying stuff right now? Christmas Day at 10 in the morning. But it happens. So we'll see. Good Friday, how that will pan out, I don't know. The one thing that does suck is if you're running lead gen offers, they usually cut the payouts pretty drastically because the call centers are closed. So if you usually get $10 for an affiliate or for an auto insurance lead, on holidays you'll get like 3 or 2. In those cases, it's not worth running at all, most of the time. Sometimes I'll still try, and usually I regret it. But hey, if you don't take any chances, you'll never know. Yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in. How long are we in? We're 41 minutes in. Let's get out of here. I was going to come on for 10 minutes. Say hi and get off of here. It's so funny, especially with the guitar, like you just lose track of time. Yeah, that's the good thing about holidays, Liz. You get the day off work. That's the best thing. If it's Good Friday and they want to, and you might get Monday off too. Good Friday, Friday. You're always off Saturday. Sunday's Easter, you're off. Then, like on my calendar, it says Easter Monday. So whether you're working, whether you're off, I hope everybody has a great day. I've got to go. I can hear the person outside my door right now dropping my groceries off. Thank goodness. Thank you. I don't have to go to the grocery store today. I haven't gone to the grocery store on a regular basis for a decade. Get it delivered right to your door. So I'm going to go put my food away. I'm out of coffee, so it's time to go anyway. Thank you for tuning in, guys. It's fun to just spend a little time together. Always good to see your faces. Pochita Mexicana, good to see you, girl. Tammy, Liz, Young Entrepreneur, Bolo, everybody, Kim. Have a fantastic Good Friday. And have an even better Easter. Whether you celebrate the Easter Bunny leaving presents or Jesus' resurrection or whatever you're into, enjoy it. Don't get drunk, and don't drive, and don't get caught. And everybody have a great effing day. Bolo, y'all take it easy. Kim, Billy Bell, take care, girl. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to drink coffee. Have a great day, everybody. And as always, me and my guitar will see you all in the future. Later, guys.